What's going on, Falcon fans? This is Warikondo coming back at you with another video. So today we're going to get into those keys to victory for our Atlanta Falcons going up to Detroit to play the Detroit Lions, who's coming off their first loss of the season. Lions coming in, playing, coming in 1-1. One of the biggest things to talk about today is not just for the Detroit Lions, but for a lot of teams that has sustained, significant injuries to some of their starters throughout the NFL. Want to knock on wood for our Atlanta Falcons. We have not, currently has to face that situation, but we understand it's part of the game. So, you know, that's why, when things like this happen, Atlanta Falcons definitely have to take advantage of, when teams are missing some of their best key players and things like that. But we can't, you know, take it for granted and start to get lackadaisical because some of their starters is not in there, right? We got to focus. We need to practice this week, like, all those guys going to be in there and things like that. But, you know, this one of the games that I think Atlanta Falcons definitely have a chance to come out and win. The Detroit Lions is one of the teams that everybody was raving about because they won, like, I think 7 of the last 8 games of the season. They was the reason why Green Bay didn't make it to the playoffs. So it's an up and rising team. Interesting thing about the Detroit Lions, they're on the same timeline as the Atlanta Falcons. Both coaches and general managers got hired at the same time, so they're in year 3 of their program. And a lot of people, maybe want to think that the Detroit Lions was a little bit ahead of the Atlanta Falcons, but you know, I think they're kind of on the same page where they're at in their you know their organization right now. Of course, the Detroit Lions do have a veteran quarterback already, the guy who was a number 1 overall draft pick in Jared Goff. So, they already have their quarterback in tow. The Atlanta Falcons still, trying to figure out is Desmond Ritter going to be that guy, and so far so good. But you know, so I kind of believe that we're on the same trajectory. So I think this would be a good litmus test for the Atlanta Falcons. But today we're going to get into, of course, the injury report I just brought up from both teams, and then we'll talk about the keys: offense, defense, and special teams for both teams today. So, guys, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to this channel. Please hit the notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button so I know you guys right here that I talk about. Then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about these Atlanta Falcons. So I'm going to go ahead and get a shout out to EQRC. Appreciate it, man. You always coming in, to my channel. I appreciate it. You one of my guys is here every time I come live. So thank you for that. Q Lavender, what's up? Rise up, and James, same to you, man. Appreciate you guys always come in, tuning in to the channel. You know, give me your feedback and what you think about these Atlanta Falcons. So let's do this thing. So first of all, um, let's go ahead and get into the injury report for both teams to this week. So I'm gonna do the Atlanta Falcons first because it's really easy. Nobody's on the injury report right now. Everybody's looking good. Of course, Troy Anderson's coming back. Not sure if he has got out concussion protocol. However, he was full practice today, along with Jeff Okudah and Cordell Patterson. Still up in the air if those guys going to go, this week. But if they're going back full practice, more than likely, you might be a first chance to get to see CP out there along with Jeff Okudah. We know Jeff Okudah has something, might has a little thing to prove because that's the team that traded him. Of course, this off season to the Atlanta Falcons. So he want to come out and let the guys know they made a mistake. Hope he can, play within yourself. Don't play, crazy or anything like that. But come out and he can help shut down no Detroit Lions passing game. That would be beautiful. So hoping Jeff Okudah gets to go this week. Of course, they didn't want to rush him back. Being out about 3 to 5 weeks. So he was unlimited last week, but he's listed as full practice today. CP with his thigh. Hopefully we get to see him first coming out there. Just adding the dynamic of CP into this offense that's already shown a lot of different, the versatility, so many different, playmakers that we got. So adding CP to that is definitely going to be something good, and it also gives the Detroit Lions something that they have to be, worried about how we're going to utilize Cordero Patterson. So I love to see him out there as well. Now, Calais Campbell did not practice today, but it was just a rest day. Of course, he earned that 16 years in the league. He don't need to go out there and practice every day. They already know what Calais Campbell can do. Good for him to go out there, to rest those bodies. So that's good for him. Ikri said the coach didn't say much. Yeah, he keeping it close to the vest. He said, yeah, they'll be back out there the same as last week. That's what he said. But he was listed as full practice today. So if that's the case, I anticipate him to go this week. I really do. I think he's ready. If you've been looking at the videos, I think he's been priming to go, man. They've taken it slow, which is smart. You're right. You don't want to rush a guy back. He's not ready. Got a long season left. We only played 2 games, got 15 games to go, so don't want to rush, anybody back. So that's good to see that Jeff Okudah is at full practice. But if he sit out another week, oh well. But I hopefully get to go this week, gets to go and get some get back from his former team. All right, now the Detroit Lions injury report is really interesting, and it's just Wednesday, so I'm not unsure how many of these guys is they were just being cautious today that did not practice, but they had a total of 2, 3, 4, 6 guys that did not practice today. We know about CJ Gardner-Johnson. Of course, he's out for the season with a pec tear, so he won't be there. He wasn't listed, but we know he's not going to be there. Justin Houston, the outside linebacker, he's another guy. I think they had a fracture in his foot, if I'm not mistaken, and he's not going to be there as well. So neither one of those guys did not show up on the practice squad. I mean, on the injury report, but they're not going to be there. They was out on season-ending injuries. But they also had Taylor Decker out today. One of their offensive tackles. Their safety, Kirby Joseph, did not practice today. Of course, their starting running back, David Montgomery, did not practice today. Emmanuel Mosley, one of their other DBs, didn't practice. Their star receiver, Ron St. Brown, did not practice today as well. And then one of their other guards that did not practice. So, like I said, 6 guys did not practice today. We're going to be monitoring that injury report all through the week. However, the Atlanta Falcons need to get prepared for everybody, right? That's what we need to do. Make sure that no surprises. All those guys out there, it could be just a day that they was giving all these guys a break, of course. But you don't practice on Wednesday. If they don't practice again on Thursday, then you can start getting concerned for those guys out there. But either way, the Atlanta Falcons need to take advantage. Last week Aaron Jones didn't go, Christian Gonzalez didn't go. Their offensive lineman didn't go. Hey, that's why those when you're supposed to get those wins, right? It's the NFL. There's nobody going to feel sorry for nobody. Just like if any of our guys go down, it's not going to be like, yeah, it's an asterisk by whatever. It is what it is. Detroit Lions beat the Kansas City Chiefs because Travis Kelce didn't play, right? Nobody felt sorry for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's the name of the game. Injuries are a part of it. So the Atlanta Falcons need to go in and take care of their business no matter who's on the field. I didn't see Zach Harrison. He didn't have him on the injury report, so I don't know what's the deal with that if you didn't see him out there. But he was not on injury report today for Zach Harrison. You say Arthur Smith don't want other team to know what's coming back. No, he don't know. That's why I say he's gonna keep it close to the vest, man. I mean, they have to. The strange thing about the NFL, which is good, and I think it's more about not the schemes and trying to fool teams. It's more about betting odds, right? Because it's a lot of money in betting for games and stuff like that. So they have to put the injury report out there and let everybody know what everybody's status is, because I think it's more about money and trying to worry about the schemes for the defense and stuff like that and offense. So I think it's more about, because Vegas have odds, and then like just say one of your star quarterbacks or something like that gonna play, they have to list those guys on the injury report. But everybody listed full, so if they're not gonna play, The Lions got to prepare for everybody anyway. um, 33 got a bad rap last game, but he stuck his hands in there and broke up on that fourth down. He did. I mean, the fact is, like, it's the coach's job to put guys in the best opportunity for them to be their best selves, right? And what I mean by that is Trey Flowers is not he's not a man-to-man corner. That's just not his strong suit, right? So you put him out there and you expect him to go out and play man-to-man. That's not what he does best. So you're actually asking him to do something, and that he's gonna, not gonna excel in. So that's why I really believe that Trey Flowers is better playing, that big nickel, playing those big tight ends and things like that, by then playing that man-to-man corner. But he played, he played his part, next man up mentality. That's what we have to get from a guy like Trey Flowers. But I wouldn't be happy, put him man-to-man, playing man-to-man coverage. You're gonna play Trey Flowers, play more zone, kind of defense. That he'll have help, play, corners and quarters and things like that, instead of trying to play a guy man-to-man. And because I really believe that they was really hunting for Trey Flowers in that game towards the end. If you go back and look at every pass that Jordan Love threw in that last drive, I think they were all targeted at Trey Flowers. And that's because that's where they felt like they had the best matchup. So you have to, play guys to their strengths at the end of the day. Do you think Campbell took too many snaps on Sunday? He looked slow to me. I know everybody talking about that one play that when Jordan Love got out. Yeah, man. If you don't take the right angle on guys that's fast, but if you go back and look at some of the plays that he made in the run game, it's just what we need, right? We only hold those guys to 84 yards rushing. So I think Calais Campbell is doing exactly what they need him to do. They're trying to make sure they keep him fresh, though. That's why you keep seeing the rotations in and out. I think they need to mix up the rotation a little bit. I don't like, rotating all four of the starters out at one time and then bring another four in. I think they need to mix it up a little bit, because it seems like when they do that, the other teams start to move the ball a little bit more when they take all the starters out. So I think they need to like mix and match the rotation a little bit. But I thought Calais Campbell played, enough snaps. Maybe he probably could have played a little less and he'd have been even fresher for the game. But we need him out there on the big downs, and that's what I love to see. He just out of position. Yeah. Yep, I agree with you on that one. He had the most tackle. Yeah, man, he was killing in the inside. And then if you go look, man, he was throwing them jokers off for him, man. It's a big boy, man. And what I like about Calais Campbell is his confidence still there. He still think he's one of the best defense tackles in the in the league, and you have to like that. And they got him out there. He playing in a little bit more. The run game for our defense it has improved. It went. Let's say this. It got better from week 1 to week 2. We know that the Detroit Lions want to be a physical team. So they're going to try to run the ball again. It'd be interesting to see if Montgomery don't go, how much they try to pound Jahmyr Gibbs up in there, because we know he's a guy that like to get out in space. So we don't know how much he's good running between the tackles and things like that. But we'll see. I have to go back and look. I'm not sure who the other running back will be out there. If anybody knows who's the other running back for the Detroit Lions, besides David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, shout it out here in the chat. So EQ say, yeah, they need to mix it up. Yeah, I agree they need to. Timothy Horn, he's still in the practice squad. He is a guy that might, elevate up this week. That's one thing if you've been noticing the last 2 weeks. Arthur Smith have been elevating guys up from the practice squad. That's a new thing they can do in the NFL. One caveat to that, I think they can only do it 3 times. So they can elevate a guy up 3 times from the practice squad. Then they will have to sign him to the 53-man roster. So that's just one of the things that. So they can't do it all season long. So they elevate a guy up 3 times. They have to eventually put him on the 53-man roster, or they can't do it again. So, Carolina, thanks for the explanation. I didn't know this until he was in the edge. Yep. Victory had a good game. He did. Talking about Nate Lemon, he really had a good game. So, that was one of my concerns about our depth at linebacker. And now you kind of see why they decided to let a guy like Michael Walker walk out the door, because Nate Lemon is another guy. I mean, if you go back to look what Nate Lemon did in college, I mean, he had a lot of tackles in college. So he was a good instinctual linebacker. Got injured, his senior season. So that's probably why he didn't get drafted. But he's a pretty good linebacker. So he filled in good for Troy Anderson. However, I want to see that speed back out there this week, especially going up a guy against Jahmyr Gibbs. So hopefully Troy Anderson can actually get back out there. Are you talking about Jahmyr Gibbs? Yeah, he's going to be he's that boy fast, man. We got to watch out for him. I know a lot of people was upset because he didn't get a lot of touches, and in the Kansas City game, it's going to be interesting to see how many touches he get this week if Montgomery is not able to go. So, St. Brown was injured for the Lions, maybe out Sunday. Yes, St. Brown he did not practice today. We'll see. I think it was his foot. So we'll see if he's going to be able to go. If St. Brown don't go, man, the Falcons have a great opportunity to actually get a win. What's going on, Millie Mills? Thanks for coming in. Holler at your boy. All right, guys, that's the injury report. So it's looking good for the Atlanta Falcons. It's looking really, really interesting for the Detroit Lions. Just Wednesday. All right, we'll be checking out that injury report, the rest of the week, and see if any of those guys come back to practice. If not, the Lions going to be putting they're going to have to, do some creative things with their roster this weekend to go up against a physical Atlanta Falcons team that want to play good, solid defense in the trenches and run the ball. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they decide to do if some of these guys can't go for the Detroit Lions this weekend. All right, so let's get into the offensive keys for these Atlanta Falcons this week. A couple of things that I definitely think that the first thing for me for the Atlanta Falcons this week is they need to get out on a fast start, right? The first 2 games been a little shaky, especially in the first half. We need to change that trend for the Atlanta Falcons. Now, they outscored opponents by 27-0 in the fourth quarter, the first 2 games, right? So the finishing is been really good for the Atlanta Falcons. But what we want to be able to do this week is be able to get out on a fast start. So that's my first key for the offense this week. Let's start fast. Let's take especially if they coming in limping like it's looking like, we want to be able to take their momentum out the game right away. Let them say, hey, we'll be back next time. This team's too physical. They all over us. Let's not get sustain any more injuries and things like that. So start off fast, set a tone early. That's what I really want to see from the Atlanta Falcons. So that's my number one key. Let's start fast this week. Let's not wait till the second half to get on track, because eventually we're not going to be able to turn it around. So that's one of the things I definitely want to be able to see. Let's start fast. My second key on offense is simply just continue to establish the line of scrimmage. That means run the ball. We want to be able to be balanced. I think if you look at the distribution between pass and run, it was really good last week. first week it was really unbalanced, right? We couldn't pass at all. But like last week, it was more balanced. 235-yard passing, right? 211 yards rushing. That's the kind of what you want to be able to see from your offense. But we need to be able to establish the line of scrimmage. Um, that means run the ball and be able to pass protect better. Every week we need to increase, and get more, rhythm and chemistry between our offensive line. The interesting thing about our offensive line so far, best two guys, in my opinion, been our center Drew Dahlman and our young rookie Matthew Bergeron. We haven't heard a lot, things where they have been out of, in the wrong spots. They've been solid for us. Um, on that right side in the run game, Chris Lindstrom and Caleb McGarry, the Atlanta Falcons love to run to the right because those guys is awesome. The run behind. It's where they're having issues at is the pass protection on that side, especially for Caleb McGarry. But they got to clean that up. But we need to establish the line of scrimmage. So that's we can do that. Make sure we run the ball, establish line of scrimmage. I think that Atlanta Falcons will have a lot of success on the offense side of the ball. We had the control of the time possession this past weekend. If we can do that again by establishing that line of scrimmage, that's what we want to do. And then the third key for me on offense this week is definitely the middle of the field. All right. If you look at the Detroit Lions defense, their weak spots is the middle of the field, and in particular going up against good tight ends, right? And there you go. This could be where we see Kyle Pitts have one of his breakout games, right? Their linebackers, Jack Campbell got a lot of instincts, but still a rookie, still opportunity for Kyle Pitts to take advantage of that. We know C.J. Gardner-Johnson is not going to be there. Their best, slot, probably the be in that backfield is not going to be there as well. We mentioned that Emmanuel Mosley is going to be out, so that middle of the field is going to be open. So I think our tight ends, Jonnu Smith, Kyle Pitts, can definitely take advantage of the passing game, particularly in the middle of the field. That's what I really want to see from us. So this could be where we see where Kyle Pitts can really take advantage this week. That's my hope. It's about time, right? We said Drake, have his breakout game, get him a touchdown, 6-7 yards, right? But it's time for Kyle to have one of his games because we got to be able to have more defenses thinking about all our weapons we got. So this could be the Kyle Pitts game. That's what I'm hoping for. And that could be, like I said, taking advantage of the middle of the field. You go back and look the last 2 weeks. That's where Detroit was hurt the most, especially in the Seattle game, the middle of the field. Kyle Pitts is one of the guys who really can take advantage of that. So those are my 3 keys on offense. Start off fast, establish the line of scrimmage, and take advantage of the middle of the field, utilizing our tight ends. That's what I definitely want to see. All right, let's look at some of you guys' keys here. We have to set the edge. Yes, I agree with you on that. Contain Hutchinson is my big offensive key. Yep, because he's like that. We got another guy out there that's been playing pretty good for them, and John Kaminsky. I don't know if you guys remember that guy that Atlanta Falcons actually drafted. But Atlanta Falcons released him a couple seasons ago. But he's been playing really good for the Detroit Lions, so that's another guy that we have to worry about as well. But Hutchinson, yes, he's definitely the key. We can keep Hutchinson away off our quarterback. That will really be good. Offense need quick passes. I think they really do that really good. Take deep sheep early, then you have them on their toes. Watch the last film week and run right at them. There you go. I like that. All right, like that. You got to take big shots. And believe it or not, I really believe Arthur Smith it's intentions to do that, right? But they come in the game trying to take Kyle Pitts out. It seemed like every week, which I don't blame him. I understand, but we got to be able to scheme up Kyle Pitts better. Somebody mentioned that Arthur Smith might need a pass game coordinator, right? So because he's really good and dynamic, or coming up with run schemes, right? Making sure we be able to run the ball. But some of the pass concepts, man, we got to be able to get our guys open, right? We can't make it, every week so hard, for our guys to be. You got to scheme them open sometimes. So maybe that's what he can do. Maybe, but it's just the second week of the season, so I'm not too concerned yet, but definitely want to see something like that. Receivers need to sit down in the zone instead of moving. Yes, I agree they're gonna play some zone this week. I agree with you. I'm be honest with you. It's certain defenses that Arthur Smith is really good at, and I know the Detroit Lions play a lot of cover 3 and quarters coverage. Um, Arthur Smith kind of eats up that kind of defensive scheme. The 3-4 is kind of a little bit harder for him to scheme, but those that Dan Quinn, that cover 3 defense, he kind of really sliced that up a little bit. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Detroit try to play the Atlanta Falcons. Hopefully Desmond Ritter can get hot, man. That'll be really something to see. Hit that like button. There you go. Appreciate it, James. Tell you, man. Yes, like you said, man. Go out there, hit that like button. Thank all you guys coming in every week. We're gonna come here and talk about Atlanta Falcons. You know what? Unlike last season, right? The Atlanta Falcons making us really, really really feel good. Somebody said the Atlanta Falcons don't know how to. Atlanta Falcons fans don't know how to act, right? Because we 2-0, and it is what it is, man. It's been since 2017 that Atlanta Falcons been over 500. Right, we deserve it. I mean, after 2016, man, we had it right in our grasp, right? We deserve this. So, yeah, be happy. Get overexcited about these 2-0, this 2-0 start for the Atlanta Falcons because it's been a long time, right? So, yeah, we're gonna enjoy it and we're gonna ride this as long as we can, right? Oh yeah, no CJ, nope, he's out. He tore his pec, so we don't have to worry about him. EQ. What's going on? Wide receiver, tight end screen. Oh man. Um John Smith is a monster in that tight end screen, man. He actually I think he runs it better than Kyle Pitts, even though Kyle Pitts, like we said, we unicorn, but John Smith, when he get that ball, he ran the ball like a running back. So I really like to see when Kyle Pitts do what he do. So that's one of John Smith do what he do when he get that ball. So that's really good. So that tight end screen, that wide receiver screen, more of the tight end, put John in there. You put Kyle in there as well. Arthur Smith run good screen games too. That's one thing that when Dan Quinn was here, when Matt Ryan, we was terrible running screens, man. It was bad. Like every time we run a screen, it's like he got blown up. But Arthur Smith runs really good screens when he call it. Most time it goes for a big play. So that's a good call on the tight end screen. What's going on? Appreciate all taking my I think you guys got a show tonight. Thanks for coming in, man. Appreciate it. Millie Mills on defense is my keys. AJ on St. Brown whenever he goes, everywhere he goes, everywhere he plays. That'll work. I don't know if that's the way they got the scheme. Sometimes they set those guys up. You play left side, you play the right side. A lot of teams do it that way, but then you do have some of those cover corners that you following the best receiver across the field. We'll have to see how the Atlanta Falcons decide to do St. Brown this week. We'll see how effective he is as well because of his foot injury when he does come back. So that's one of the things that we're definitely going to get to see. Are you kidding me? After humiliating the Super Bowl, we winning again. That's see, you feel the same way I feel, right? Right? Like we need to enjoy this, man. This it is what it is. We happy. It's 2-0. You know, I got you know, slightly hesitant optimism because it is the Falcons, right? We don't want to be have that PTSD kind of feel, right? Because we know it's the Falcons, but I feel like this is a different team. I think this is a different, it's a new day for our Atlanta Falcons. So I'm happy about it. I am, and I feel good. And for what I've seen so far, they can actually be better, right? This is not like the the peak of where they can be. We don't have left a lot out there to desire. Think about our first halves, the first two games, right? We have not played good football in the first two halves, but we have came back in the second half and put it on. So we have a lot out there, but we really do. Say John New runs angry, he does it. Man. He does, man. And he want the ball too. I mean, just imagine how many guys you got out there that want that ball, just want it. He said, "New team, yes sir." Um, I have been feeling that way for over 50 years. I know. Hey, I'm right along with you, man. Right along with you. We deserve this. We deserve this. It's only 2 games though, right? That's what everybody cares. It's only 2 games, but hey, it feels like it's been a long time coming, and you can sense the vibe around the city. So yeah, man. Yeah, celebrate because 2000. I don't even like think about 2016, man. Don't even like think about it. So, all right, guys, let's go ahead and get into their defensive keys for these Atlanta Falcons this week. Um, right now, the defense is sitting at I think 8th overall. If correct me if I'm wrong. If anybody out there know where we're sitting at, I think they're 8th. But we're right there. I know it's just 2 weeks into the season, but Atlanta Falcons playing good defense overall. The pass defense has really been really good. They got away from the run game a little bit their first game with the Carolina Panthers, but last week we only gave up 84 yards, and one of those runs was the run by Jordan Love when he got outside the pocket. So if you look at the run game, it's starting to take shape where we want it to be from a defensive standpoint. The only issue I do have, we only got 3 sacks on the season. We got to be able to get to the pass rush and start to sack the quarterback. So hopefully we can have one of these games where we sack the quarterback 4 or 5 times and get after them. We have been playing some good, solid offensive lines. Not so much for the Carolina Panther game, but I feel like the Carolina Panther game we only started to turn it on in the second half. Looked like we were playing a little bit conservative in that first half against the Panthers. Last week, Green Bay has a pretty good offensive line, but I think we got Jordan Love off his spot a couple of times, but we need to be able to start to create sacks. So that's what I'm thinking about from a defensive standpoint. But my first key on defense this week for these Atlanta Falcons is to stop the run, right? We want to make them pass the ball. I know it's crazy, but we want to be able to start to get those sacks. And what I mean by make them pass the ball is be really good on first and second down. You want to get in third and longs, right? That's what you want to create. Every defense, if you talk to any defensive coach out there, if they say we can create third and longs because that's what guys want to do. They want to pin their ears back and get after the QB. So we stop the run game, create those third and longs, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10s, things like that. Now we're in the driver's seat because we can dictate how we want to aggressive we can be. And that's when the quarterback started to make mistakes, right? Because now we know they got to go get that 8, they got to go get that 10, right? And I think we got one of the best quarterbacks in the back end of our defense, and that's in our safety, right? Jesse Bates. So I really like the fact that if we can get in third and longs, and it's one thing about Jared Goff that if you watch him play, one of his favorite throws, one of his signature throws is in the middle of the field, right? And I like that because that's where our quarterback in the middle, Jesse Bates, at. And I feel like he can beat him. I feel like he can beat. Yes, Jared Goff is a veteran. He's not gonna make a whole lot of mistakes, but I feel like we can start to get those third and longs, get that pressure up, and he get hesitant and don't see Jesse sitting out there, for a sneak attack like he did against a guy like Bryce Young. But we have to stop the run. That should be one of the things that Atlanta Falcons want to do every week because you want to make them one dimensional, right? They won't have David Montgomery more than likely this week. Jahmyr Gibbs is a rookie. He's not on the same level as Bijan. But he's talented. Don't get me wrong. He's a talented young player, but he's not somebody that gonna come in and take over the game like a Bijan Robinson. He's more want to get outside and utilize that speed. He's dynamic. I'm not taking anything away from Jahmyr Gibbs, but if we can stop the run and get those guys in more advantageous spot, for our defense, that's what we want to do. All right. The second key is no big plays. I hate big plays, man. I think they are momentum for any team, especially when it's a lull. And if you look at last week, the big plays really came from pass interference calls, right? So that's a big play as well. Might not look like it is, even though they didn't complete a pass or anything like that. But in NFL, wherever that ball drops, wherever it is called, that's where they get the ball at. So, sometimes teams, take shots just to try to draw a pass interference. We know Tom Brady used to do it all the time. I mean, it's really just being smart, right? Because DBs panic. That's what happens, right? When they feel like they getting burnt, right? They don't want to give up the big play, and then they get grabby. And the way the refs call it in NFL, I mean, you just put your hand on the guy before the ball get there, they're going to call it pass interference. So big plays is what we cannot have from this Atlanta Falcons this week. That's just one of the things that we got to try to avoid. If they're going to beat us, if they're going to score on the Atlanta Falcons defense, we need to make them drive the field. That's what we want them to do. If they can drive the field, that'll be really great for us. So that's what we want Atlanta Falcons to do this week. Make the Detroit Lions drive. No big plays, no splash plays, no pass interference calls, anything like that. Let them drive the field. If you can score on us, one of those long sustained drives, which I hope that's not the case either. We need to get out the field on third down. But if that's the way you think you can beat us, because we're not going to let you go get it quick, right? So that's what I'm talking about. No big plays for Atlanta Falcons. And that third key is we have to affect Jared Goff. Right. This is the first week this year that we're not playing an inexperienced quarterback. All right. It just is. They can say what they want to say about Jordan Love being in the league for 4 seasons, but that was like his third start ever, as a quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. Of course, Bryce Young's a rookie, but this week we're playing a guy that was drafted number 1 overall, guy who has took a team to the Super Bowl, a guy who won 7 or the last 8 games of the season with his team last year. So it's a veteran guy that we're going up against. So my third key on the defensive side of the ball this week is definitely we got to get out Jared Goff, make him uncomfortable out there, continue to put pressure on him, try to make him create mistakes. Like I said, we don't know who's going for them, especially if his security blanket, St. Brown's not out there. If he's not out there, he's definitely going to be, kind of edgy, kind of jittery, hopefully. And then another guy that's really been playing well for them is Sam Laporta, the rookie tight end. We need to be able to shut him down as well. So that's another one of his security blankets. He's starting to go to him more and more. And usually that's always a quarterback best friends, tight ends, right? Except for Atlanta for some reason. I don't know why they don't want to get Kyle Pitts the ball. But either way, I'm just talking. But my third key is definitely be able to put pressure on Jared Goff. make him uncomfortable back there, because this is the first time we're gonna be going up against a veteran QB that we got to play this season. All right, guys. So my keys: defense, stop the run, no big plays, and let's put pressure on Jared Goff. Let's see what we got here going on from some of these guys. Some of you guys out here on the thing. I'm not overly excited until we win a caliber 9 or better, until we got to take this game at one game at a time on Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays. I'm over it. Hey, that's how the team should be, right? So this way we feel about it. The fans, we probably gonna talk about it and feel good about it all the way to probably like Friday, Saturday. Right before the game, we're gonna be excited. But the team, they need to have victory Monday, and then that game is over, right? They need to move on to the next. But from a fan standpoint, guys, we're gonna enjoy this, right? Until we lose, we're gonna talk about it, be happy every week, and that's just what it is. So that's my take on it. I agree with you, one game at a time, but I'm gonna enjoy it, man, until they don't do it. James says set the edge 100%. We have to be able to do that, especially a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs. We do not want him to get outside. That would not be good, because that guy is dangerous in space. 2 games, yes, but I see them coming through each week. There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. We need better pressure, 100%. That's what I'm talking about. We got to be able to. 3 sacks is not enough for the Atlanta Falcons, especially when you got teams like the Cowboys already in double digits, man. It's just crazy. We got to be able to create more pressure. Yeah, start the run. It cuts the play calling in half, 100%. Right? If you remember last year, I know I have talked about this before, but last year Atlanta Falcons in a lot of 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3s, and things like that. And when the offense getting 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, their playbook is like this, man. It's wide open for a team, offensive team, because they could do so many things on 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. So you want to be able to get them in 3rd and long. So that's a great point. Because it's not that many plays where they're gonna call that they got 3rd and 10 plays or 3rd and 11. It's not that many plays they got for like that. There's so many in their playbook. Lions 4th in passing this year. Montgomery is hurt. They're passing on 1st, 3rd offense. Detroit. So that's a good. I'm glad you brought that. That's really interesting. So that means that our passing defense really, really need to be good this week. It really needs to be good, right? And so our guys gonna get tested, right? Those guys in the secondary who really haven't been tested, the first 2 games, because, like I said, young quarterback play. So Jared Goff is gonna pass the ball. Like I said, he's a veteran. He's gonna pass the ball. So we got our passing defense really need to be locked in this week. I like the way that Jesse Bates get these guys in on Tuesdays, on their off days, to look at film. Hopefully you're gonna have these guys ready to go, man. I hope Jeff Okuda comes back as well to help us in our pass game. What's going on, Big Low Country? Thanks for coming in, man, checking in on me. I hope Jill plays because Trey. Yeah, man, exactly. I agree with you 100%. Like I said, Trey, I like what he does. I like what he does, but at the same time, he's not a man-to-man corner. So they need to put him in a position where he can be successful. Say the Cowboys have 11 sacks. See, they're already in double digits, right? We got to. They say they're on pace to have over 80 some sacks, man, this season. Right. We need to be like I don't want to be like the Cowboys. That defense is ridiculous. Right, but we got to start to pressure quarterbacks. I don't think we have a Michael Parsons on our squad. Let's just be honest. That guy is ridiculous, man. And I'm kind of glad we don't have to play them this year in the regular season. So Maybe we get them in the playoffs. Let's see how that works for us. All right, all right. So guys, those are my defensive keys. Last but not least, because there's all three phases in the game. Right, we always you got to look at all three phases of football because special teams matters, right? And you guys all we know my first key on special teams will always be in its field position. Um, I think field position is huge, especially on the road, right? We want to be able to establish field position. Get our offense short fields, make them go the long way on their defense. So, um, field position is always key. Get field position either way you can. You know, make them go 3 and out. Inside the 20, they keep pointing the ball. We get good field position that way. Um, if we was to stall, let's stall on their side of the field around the 50, punt it deep, pin them deep. Create field position. So field position is always my number one key on special teams, because that's um it's really it's the key to first downs on both sides, right? The more first downs they got to get in scoring position, and the less first downs you got to get in scoring position. So it's always, to me, it's all about um, field position. What you got here? No, they have that awesome linebacker. Yes, yep. Michael Parsons is a beast. Yep. Second key on special teams is, hey, let's I just talked about explosive plays, not giving up on defense. Let's create an explosive play on special teams this week. Right? CP back. Let's see if CP could, start the season off right. Go for number, is it 10? Yeah, I think it's number 10, right? Go for number 10. He already holds the record for most kickoff returns. Let's see, can he go for number 10 this week, right? We'll see. But special play on big play on special teams. I mean, even a field goal block or a punt block on special teams is huge, right? Because that's a momentum changer. So either way we get it on special teams, um, even downing the ball at the 1 yard line on a punt, that's it supposed to play in my opinion, because like I said, that it creates the short fields. So I mean the long field for them and great field position. So either way you get explosive plays, either way you look at it, you think about it, that's always what you're going to see on special teams when you think about explosive plays. So that's what I really think about. Um, like you said, they got 10. So you think about talking about the QB on the Cowboys here. Um, so guys, that's it, right? I don't have a whole lot. I mean, special teams is self-explanatory. Make sure no turnovers and things like that. Um, like I said, create field position and then try to do something creative in the kicking game. Um, that could be what helps us win. So that's why I always look at special teams. I think special team is really important. I think we had some great special teamers last year. Um, and so far, I haven't seen anything that make me think that um, Atlanta Falcons special teams won't be anything else. The D must pay attention to CP no matter where he is open. Yes, CP is dangerous, man, and he's a big dude, man. So just imagine, just imagine. So let's imagine this real quick because I'm about to get out here soon. But just imagine that you have to deal with Tyler Algier, right? Who actually knocked the Green Bay Packers defensive defensive end linebacker out last week. When he hit him, he dislocated his shoulder, right? You hitting a big guy like Tyler Algier, right? And then you got to deal with a guy like Bijan, who has the size but make you really look silly when you're trying to tackle him, right? And then they put in a guy that's bigger than both of them, and CP that not gonna shy away from any contact himself. So I mean, it's a beautiful thing, man. I love it that the way we utilize all three of those guys, and that's what the opposing team's gonna have to deal with all season. So you gotta like that. You really gotta like that. So I love it. Um, can't wait to see P gets back. Hopefully, come back this week. Make field goals. That's a good one. I forgot about that. Koo did miss that extra point, man. I tell you, we get in the end zone. We all happy we've got to be tied up 10-10. And then, it's deflating when we don't get the extra point because now we're still losing by a point. That first half just seemed that way. And, to be honest with you, the third quarter seemed like the game kind of got away from us, but we was able to deliver in the fourth. So you got to like that. He can play tight end for size. Yes, man. He can do it all, man. He can. That's why it's I think it's fitting that Arthur Smith, created a new position, the Joker position, because it's something that CP can definitely. I can see him, like you said, line up at tight end. I can see him. We already know he can play receiver. Right, this is what he did majority of his career before. He started to come to Atlanta and be a full-time running back. I think he played some running back with the New England Patriots, but a lot of what CP, is able to do, he's really versatile, right? You call him that Swiss Army knife because he can do so much, but you know, I'm happy he's back because I'm gonna say this. Um, I love the way they're utilizing Bijan Robinson, but man, it's 17 games. We don't want to wear the young rookie out. We want him to be fresh when we get in the playoffs. So, we need to utilize guys like CP. We need to, to distribute the ball to Tyler Algier. We need to get Kyle Pitts involved, right? We need to make sure Drake London, Mac Hollins, everybody getting their touches because we want to be able to have fresh guys, right, throughout the season. So I love, how they utilizing Bijan, but I will be happy when CP comes back because I think that'll take a little load off the way how much they're using him. That workload was really it was effective and it was really efficient for Bijan, but we don't want to run him in the ground. So um, definitely, let's spread. You said Koo is okay. Yeah, he is. He made two. He made what we kicked 4 field goals. So even though we missed the extra point, we still kicked 4 field goals. So yeah, I'm gonna tip my head off to Koo. I just didn't like that missed extra point, man. That's really what it's all about down to. I like the way our Kate, it cool. He learned his lesson, concentrate every kid. Yes, because you think that especially the extra point is routine, but no, you're right. Let's be locked in every play. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Those are my keys for the victory for the Atlanta Falcons. Of course, I will be honest, right? When I did the predictions for the season, I actually picked the Atlanta Falcons to lose this game. Um, and honestly, I really felt like they had a chance to win, but when you don't want to go put 17-0 because you feel like you're just being unrealistic. The Atlanta Falcons will not go undefeated this season. I don't believe that. But I really believe the Atlanta Falcons definitely have a really good chance to win this game this week. Really, one of the main reasons because I think we're in a good rhythm. We're starting to click, and they have shown me things these first 2 games, even that I didn't think there was going to be until later on in the season. So I'm definitely changing my pick. I think the Atlanta Falcons definitely have a great chance to go 3-0 this week. And then if they do, we can go to the international game overseas and see can we try to this first quarter of the season try to go 4-0. So that's what I like about every game is its own animal. That's what it is. That's what it's all about. But the Atlanta Falcons have a great opportunity to actually go 3-0 this week. And they, in my opinion, I know some people might put the Lions as favorite, but I believe the Atlanta Falcons should be favored in this game. James said we can win this with less mistakes. Yes. I'm not gonna even go on to let's just hope Desmond Ritter got, some of those dumb passes out of the way last game, right? And he really gets back to where he was really taking care of the ball. The first 5 games of the season, of his career, where he had no turnovers. So let's get back to that. But guys, that's it for me today. Thank everybody for coming in, kicking it with me today. Um, please share this out with everybody. Um, get it out to the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about, these Atlanta Falcons. And this is your boy, Ricondo, coming back at you with another video. Peace.